All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Rocky Top Insider postgame show. This is Ryan Shumpert. I'm Rick Butler. For the final time in Neyland Stadium this season, we're here for a postgame. Tennessee defeats Vanderbilt in the regular season finale by a score of 48-24, doubled them up. Ryan, what do you think about this game? Just kind of Tennessee closing on a strong note after a previous two-game slide.
Yeah, certainly. They did what they were expected to do and what they should have done, but obviously after two bad games before this, you didn't know that would for sure happen. So, I thought Tennessee's offense best they've played all year, honestly, probably against any opponent. Maybe UConn would be up there as well, right in that same conversation. And then the defense after Vanderbilt goes right down the field with a quick touchdown drive to open the game, I thought was really strong. They gave up, 24 more points, but one touchdown real late with the backups and another touchdown when D. Williams muffed the punt inside the 10-yard line. So a good performance overall. And a good way to cap off kind of a topsy-turvy regular season for Tennessee.
Yeah, it certainly was. You talk about just kind of the offensive performance, and certainly that's led by quarterback Joe Milton. Had a phenomenal game here on Saturday. Let's look at the stats. 22 of 33 for 383 yards and 4 touchdowns through the air. Also added in 2 touchdowns on the ground, had 6 total. He said in his post-game press conference, he said, look, I wanted to go out with a bang, and that's what I wanted to do as a player, but that's also what we wanted to do as a team. What did you think of Joe Milton's performance here tonight?
He was good, yeah. I mean, he finally got to that elusive 300-yard game that he hadn't gotten to in his Tennessee career, and I thought he did a good job. Obviously, playing against Vanderbilt is a pretty big boost to all of that. He had a lot of receivers running wide open. He had, one of those plays, I guess, early second half to Ramel Keaton. A play against most of the SEC would have been a nice throw and catch to pick up the first down, and then against Vanderbilt secondary, turned into a 50-yard touchdown. So, he played well. Obviously, the opponent has a lot to do with that, but he's also not played well against some lesser opponents this season. So I don't think you can discredit what he did just solely because of that. I thought he was on time, accurate with the football, did a few good things when pressure came in on him, eluding and making throws down the field, and obviously the 2 touchdown runs. So good game for him, and like you said, it was a good way for him to cap off his season.
Sticking with the quarterback room just for a moment, Nico Ansah did get to play a little bit. I'm sure the Tennessee fans who stuck to the end, they certainly wanted to see him make those throws into the end zone before Gaston Moore came in. But it was senior night for him as well, so Tennessee was able to get him on the field. Looking at Nico's stats, 9 of 12, 66 yards. I thought he did some nice things when he came in. I thought he had good accuracy, thought he had good decision-making. And there was one play where he scrambled out of the pocket, did not look like any sort of designed run, but was able to just move out of the pocket, pick up a couple yards there. And that's sort of an instinctive play. I liked that from what you saw. What did you think of the way he played? Came in, not too much, but what did you think?
No, I kind of thought it was kind of all by the book. He did have that one scramble. Besides that, I thought everything was very much kind of on what Tennessee was trying to do, which, again, they didn't ask him to make a ton of tough throws. A lot of screen passes, some of those quick RPOs, and then some comeback routes that, it's a staple of Josh Heupel's offense. Really, we've seen less this year than we have in his first 2 years. So I thought he was good. Heupel mentioned it postgame. There was a 3rd and 2 speed option. I thought he should have pitched it. He still made a nice broke a tackle to get the first down, but I thought it would have gone for maybe 5-6 yards more. I personally didn't really have a problem with Heupel putting in Gaston Moore at the end. I would have liked to see Nico get one drive earlier.
Yeah.
I thought they went to him a little late, given the score and all that good stuff of the game. So would have liked to see more of them, but wasn't necessarily too upset that it didn't come in that last minute with a couple throws in the end zone.
And I figured as much as well. And I think a lot of people did, right?
Yeah.
Senior night, Gaston Moore, want to get him a couple reps just here in his final home game as well. Flipping to the defense real quick, just while we give some quick thoughts. Certainly there was some tension on the field with the defense, and that all happened right around here, although it
really happened
from that side to this side.
It really happened all over this field from about the 10-yard line to the 30-yard line. Maybe on the sidelines a little bit.
Maybe a little bit. I did find that one of the interesting things that came out of the press conference is that everybody knew kind of what was at stake if things escalated even more. And obviously for Tennessee, that's not being able to play in your bowl game if you're potentially ejected. So coaching staff definitely had that message, whether it was on the sidelines and at halftime. But that did get a little eventful.
Yeah, and there was a point where it almost could have blown up again, because I think Tennessee scored a touchdown on that next drive, and after they kicked the PAT.
That was Joe Milton's, yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember who got hit and who did the hitting, but a Vanderbilt player, well after the extra point, just came and kind of decked a Tennessee player, and luckily, I think the Vanderbilt sideline more than anything did a good job of, because it was kind of over on that side of the field, did a good job of making sure that didn't balloon. But no, I mean, that was the entertainment of the game, and y'all probably relate to this, fans at home, less than we do, but I was saying, this is Tennessee and Vanderbilt going up against the Iron Bowl, same time on CBS. Iron Bowl went down to the wire. This game was a lopsided game. The game was the CBS game. This game ended up finishing 40 minutes after it. It was a 4-hour game that was decided by 24 points and was really more lopsided than that. So long game. Not much to us in the media's chagrin.
It did take a good bit of time, especially there in the second quarter,
especially the
fourth quarter in a couple moments. But that second quarter dragged things out quite a bit here for the regular season finale. Of course, that's how it's drawn out. Ryan, any other kind of final takeaways before we get to the podcast a little bit later on?
I guess just on the defensive side, since we didn't talk much about them, I thought the pass rush expectedly was really good, and Tennessee was really good on third downs. I mean, I wrote that as one of my 3 keys coming into the game. Tennessee's third down defense seemed to be better. I figured they would because they'd be able to get Vanderbilt and do a lot more third and longs, and that's where they've been successful this year. They weren't able to do that against Georgia. They weren't able to do that against Missouri. They did it tonight. I think Georgia started 1-9 on third downs. They ended maybe 3-12, got a couple of them late, but Tennessee's pass rush was really, really effective. Tyler Barron got a sack. James Pierce, I think, maybe got half a sack, but affected a ton more plays. So a good game for that group in the regular season after they kind of, I don't know if scuffled would be the right word, but they hadn't really been as strong in November as they were in October and September.
Yeah, and even with the opponent, effective in the light of they had a lot of injuries going on as well.
Sure,
I mean, a ton of injuries on both sides of the field. We've talked about it over on Racked Up Insider before, and you can go and look at that list in case you kind of forgot throughout the game. But a lot of injuries. Tennessee was obviously able to overcome that, and they were able to double up Vanderbilt in the final score. Right, we got a lot more work to do, but this is it for us. This is it for the regular season right here in Knoxville. It's been a pretty good run for us.
It has been, yeah. Fun regular season. A lot of really just one competitive game actually this year at Neyland Stadium. But as it always is, always fun to be in this place and covering Tennessee football.
Yeah, absolutely. And hey, these videos have done great in the post game. So thank you so much for listening to them. We still got one more coming at you for the bowl game. But in case you want to keep these stand-ups, Ryan and I are doing them after the basketball games here in Knoxville as well. So, man, the sports don't stop. We don't stop. And there's a lot going on in Knoxville right now. So if you've been watching throughout the season, thank you so much for doing so. Otherwise, we're going to get back up to the press box. Still got a lot more work to do that you can go and check out at RockyTopInsider.com. If you want to follow Ryan, you can do that at rshump00. If you want to follow myself, you can do that at Rick_Butler. But otherwise, thank you so much for listening to the RTI postgame show. For Ryan, I'm Rick. We'll see you back for the bowl game.